Namaste. My session is on positive and negative impact of globalization. While some view globalization as a process that is beneficial to world economic development and is inevitable and irreversible, others believe that it increase inequality within the between nations, threatens employment and living standards, increased dependency, expands neocolonialism, and the thought social progress. Globalization has proved to be very beneficial to all countries and especially to developing countries. So its merits are as follow: like beneficial to for developing countries. The globalization has promoted economic equality and reduced poverty. The integration of poor economies, which richer ones, has provided many opportunities for poor people to improve their lives. Globalization has helped reduce poverty in a large number of developing countries. Then there is a globalization encourages flow of foreign capital in the form of foreign direct investment, commercial borrowings, and collaboration, etc. Transfer of capital from developed of underdeveloped countries will be mutually beneficial. Next, globalization encourages entry of multinational corporations. These corporations have unique and empirical capacity to increase production and distribution. Wherever they go, they make radical changes in the existing production system of that country. Their superior technology, professional, managerial competence, and quality are of paramount importance of the country. Then it comes to the increase in knowledge. Rapid increase in knowledge through the globalization provides a new potential for developing countries to grow faster. The knowledge explosion is driving technical change, which is changing the nature of global interaction and competition. Next है कि modern technology and managerial services made available to enterprises established in different parts of the globe by the multinational corporation, and as a result the productivity of these enterprises increase and resources are optimally utilized. Then you can say that globalization is not only an economic phenomena, it is also a culture and social phenomena, and it is found due to globalization personnel in management and other superior position will come to the underdeveloped countries with their own lifestyles, which will have good influence on the societies. Then it comes to beneficial to consumers. Globalization promotes competition. Under the pressure of competition, human beings will strive to give best of their effort. There is no denying the fact that the competition brought the world economic order may benefits in terms of a very efficient economy at a very low cost. Then globalization has extended the world trade also. The establishment of the World Trade Organization in 1995 aimed at discouraging bilateralism and encouraging multilateralism. Globalization is reflected in the rise share of international trade in world output. International division of labor. Globalization implies the functional integration of internationally dispersed activities. It caused a new type of international division of labor. It manifested in the ability of producer to slice up the value chain. Now it comes to the negative impact of the globalization. So like first of all we can say there is a diminishing role of the state. Yani in recent times, state sovereignty in many developing countries in the south has been severely reduced from the influence of globalization and of increasingly detailed the prescriptions from the international financial institutions and other external actors. State sovereignty is no more absolute, and non-state actors are playing significant role in the national politics of state as well as international politics. Then there is a harmful to developing countries because many countries have experienced a negative growth and a declining standard of living despite being well integrated into global economy. In short, you can say that globalization for the third world countries simply means loss of economic independence, mortgaging the economy or to foreign capital, and subjugation to the industrial countries. Then there is a meaning of a new colonialism with the collapse of the Cold War. Related support structure is maintained by the superpowers. The room was now wide open for the global forces of various kinds. Then there is an impact on religion, and the discourse of globalization is no longer confined to economics and politics but to culture and religion. Then there is a globalization of terrorism. Globalization involves not only free flow of goods, services, capital, labor, and finance, but also ideas, information, drugs, arms, and even terrorists across the globe. Then it comes to the good threat to foreign competition. The critics are of the view that globalization will lead the foreign countries to cutthroat competition. It will weaken political, social, and economic independency. The rich are rich at the cost of the poor, and the development is always at the expense of the cutthroat competition with the underdeveloped. Then there is a cause economic inequality, and it has further been criticized that globalization, which led to the economic inequality, and globalization led to the growth of multinational corporations, and these corporations have proved harmful to the goal of the economic equality. Then there is a increase in the debt burden. Then you can say adverse effect on balance of the payments, because this policy of protectionism adopted by developed countries also contribute to adverse balance of payment of developing economies. Then there is a increased dependency on the multinational corporations, because countries are incorporated in the global economy through a network of international production, trade, and finance. An important element of the globalization process is the growth of intra-firm trade, which creates barriers to the entry for developing countries. Then there are the dubious experience of policy reforms. The critics are of the view that in the name of the globalization, the underdeveloped countries are pushed into doubtful experimentation of policy reforms, including the deregulations and the internationalization of financial sector, privatization, and elimination of all kinds of restrictions. This is offered as a solution regardless of country's institutional and financial background. Then there is an increase in the consumerism, because it has further been criticized that globalization, which implies consumerism, a sort of the consumerism of the Western type, has actually brought about in the nation a high priority for luxury cars over mass transport and five-star hotels over low and cost indigenous housing. Moreover, globalization will promote the demonstrate effect. With capital investment from the foreign countries, personal with their lifestyle will also come insofar as it affect directly and through demonstrate effect. It distorts the allocation of nation resources and becomes a mean to social discord. It will increase social tensions among different classes of people of society. The next is there is an element of uncertainty, because globalization is expected to promote the flow of foreign capital, and but an element of uncertainty looms large in respect of foreign capital. Then there is an interference of international institutions. Just globalization has resulted in increasing interference of international institutions like the World Bank and the IMF in the policy making process of underdeveloped countries. So this will mean redistribution of income towards the richer income groups, which affect further income contraction. The other income contraction in the decline in terms of trade of the underdeveloped countries. Now there is a depletion of the natural resources. The structure adjustment program of the World Bank also has an adverse impact on the country's nature resource in many ways. And then you can say first there is a pressure to increase exports of natural resources and agriculture commodities on large scale. So the increased demand for the export shift the country natural resources such as land, forests, minerals into a tradable sector and away from the production for the local consumptions. Thus, globalization ignores the long-term consequences of the depletion of the natural resources. So, in a nutshell, you can say that the positive impact of globalizations are like the beneficial to developing countries, flow of foreign capital, entry of multinational corporations, increase in knowledge, technology, marketing, socio-economic transformation, consumers, beneficial to consumers, beneficial world trade, international division of labor, etc. And then and the negative, so you can say the dimensions role of the state. There is a harmful to developing countries. Then there is a rise of new colonialism. Then there is an impact of religion too. Then globalization of terrorism. There is a cutthroat foreign competition, causes economic inequality, increase in the debt burden, and adverse effect on balance of payments, increased dependency on MNCs, and the dubious experiment on policy reforms or elements of uncertainty. Or you can say there is a depletion of natural resources, increase in the consumerism, and there is an interference of international institutions.